What's up, everyone? Good evening, good late evening. Happy holidays to those out there that's still breathing. For those of you that lost someone this week, condolences. I know somebody that lost someone. So, I would like to start off with that. I would also like to thank everyone for supporting the podcast. The Lethal Truth is growing. It's starting off small, but that's all good. I got a message. You know what I'm saying? Everything got to start off small when it begins, and then it explodes. You just got to continue doing what you do best. You know what I mean? So again, like I said, happy holidays. And I thank all those that log on. Normally, well, not normally. The last podcast I had insinuated that I would start doing it on Saturdays. And I think that was a little bit too long to be waiting. You know what I'm saying? From Saturday to Saturday, excuse me, that's 7 days. That's a lot of things that's going on in the world right now. And I'm just like, hold on, what? Fat Joe? Because we all heard what's going on, right? Excuse me. We all heard what's going on with Fat Joe, and the brother Lord Jamal from Brand Nubians. Um, wow, I can't believe it went this viral. You know, I think I think they made it a political thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get into it. You know what I'm saying? Because I want us to understand that as people of color, right? We have been living around each other from God knows how long in America. You know what I'm saying? And when I say people of color, I mean not white people. You know what I'm saying? No, no offense. hope one of those gifts are for the subscribers. Well, excuse me for a second. Hold on, let me get some water. Well, actually, sorry, those for the kids. Me and my family, we don't really believe in the tree thing, although we do have it. My wife like to do a little decoration here and there for the children, because some people celebrate other things differently, So we put the gifts on the couch instead of under the tree. Hey, we do things differently. You know what I mean? So so let's get right into it. So Lord Jamal and Fat Joe. Now, like I said, we've been living around each other for years. I mean, since I've been growing up, my first best friend was Panamanian. He looked like Fat Joe. His family was dark like me, but he was the only light one. But it was others Puerto Ricans around and Dominicans around that I grew up with, that I talked to, even went to school with. And we all know the home base of Puerto Ricans or Spanish speaking people was mostly in the Bronx. So our people lived around Spanish speaking people, or you call them Puerto Ricans or Dominicans or whatever. We've been living around them since day one, and we've been using the same language from day one. Yo, what up, my nigga? Yo, what up, my nigga? It was never a disrespect. It was an embrace of loyalty. Even Spanish niggas was calling each other niggas. They wouldn't say, "Hey, what's up, spick?" We never even called them that because we knew those was fighting words. Because it was just different, And I would get into it why it's so different. And they was just used to using the N word, and they called each other that, and they embraced it. They understood it. You know what I mean? Some of them even call themselves black people. There's a lot of Puerto Ricans, there's a lot of Dominicans and Venezuelans who practice a spiritual religion, or I won't say religion, I would say a spiritual gift or enlightenment called Santa Maria. And the god that they praise to is called Shango, which is a black god. They have a black statue at home, Spanish speaking people. But a lot of people want to make it seem like Fat Joe is racist. So who is Fat Joe and who is Lord Jamal? I wanna explain who Lord Jamal is first, and make you understand why this went so out of control. Okay, Lord Jamal was a young brother back in the late 70s that used to run with the Zulu Nation. Most of the brothers from the Zulu Nation was part of the 5% Nation, and they were Muslims. And they were street gangsters, but they were more cultural. So he grew up around this black power environment. You know what I'm saying? So later on in time, as he got older and got into hip hop, he joined this group called Brand Nubians. And they were all part of the 5% Nation, which is today called the Nation of Gods and Earths. And they follow a set of lessons called 120 Degrees. They got these lessons from the Nation of Islam, where their leader had departed from the nation at that time. His name was Clarence 13 X Smith. The brothers from the nation call him the Father or Father Allah. And when the Nation of Islam fell, he took those lessons and he brought it to the black community to uplift young brothers and sisters, which of course the government didn't like, the police didn't like. And, you know, as time went on, a few years later, they killed him and shot him 7 times. They assassinated him. Of course, no one was caught, but we know who did it because those same lessons came from the Nation of Islam, and those questions was asked by Master Farah Muhammad, the one who taught Elijah Muhammad, who answered those questions. These are the same lessons that raised Malcolm. So you see the mindset of Lord Jamal. You understand where I'm going with this now? So here go Fat Joe. He does an interview with Math Hoffa, I believe my expert opinion. And he said these radical blacks, you know, these broke ass niggas, these radical blacks. Now, radical means, you know, it can mean an adjective and a noun, you know, where it could be a fundamental opinion or idea to uplift a certain people and environment over a previous one, or as a noun, someone who represents a party or family or organization and wants to overthrow their oppressor or whatever system by any means necessary. Any means necessary, extremely. That's a radical. Black Panthers, radical. Nation of Islam, radical. So when the Nation of Gods on Earth got these lessons, they was quoting the original man is the Asiatic black man, the maker, the owner, the cream of the planet Earth, God of the universe. Who is the colored man? The colored man is the Caucasian man, or Yaku's grafted white devil. Uh-oh. You see where Malcolm get it from, right? So this is Lord Jamal's mindset. So when he got with Brand Nubian in the early 90s, they made cultural music to uplift the black community. They didn't say nigger. They wasn't promoting gun violence. Everything was positive. He's not known for gangster rap, unlike Fat Joe. But Fat Joe always used the nigger word in his rhymes. You remember that? All these niggas want to live my lifestyle. Never seen a break, never seen a crack out. He been using that. When he was a DTN, he been using that. But they made it a political thing because of who Lord Jamal is. You know, growing up in the black community as well, there was always some sort of separation with our brothers and sisters who speak that language. Because like the Willie Lynch law, we was taught and designed to be separated, the light versus the brown. So we're going to put our darker version of slavery to the side in America for a second. Because we always heard that it started in 1609, and I told you the other day 1555 in America, but wait. Slavery started way before that. And it kind of started with the Portuguese and the Spain when it comes to the transatlantic slave trade. I'm not saying they started slavery. It's been going on way before them. But in the transatlantic slave trade, they was the one that revolutionized it, them and Spain, who worked from the Queen of England. Now, the Portuguese do not speak Spanish. I mean, the Portugals do not speak Spanish. They speak Portuguese, which is a distant language from Spanish. So it's kind of identical. And this country, along with Spain, is in the southwestern region of Europe by the Iberian Peninsula of the Atlantic Ocean. So these are Europeans who speak Spanish and Spanish-like language, but because their root language and their root ancestry comes from Latin, Europe, Rome. That's the language. That language comes from central Italy, which is Rome. So this is what they speak. We don't speak that. So when they decided in 1336 to start going into Africa and stealing Africans, they was taking them to the Queen of England in England. Just because they speak Spanish doesn't mean they speak Spanish. I was born in America. I speak English, but I'm not an Englishman. English people speak English. America has no language. Ah, you ain't think of that one, did you? But when they started to kidnap us, of course, we couldn't speak our language no more. So they forced us to speak their language. And to hold on to our roots and our language, we would be killed. So of course, like in America, they raped our brothers. I raped our sisters. And of course, some became lighter. So they started to separate the light from the brown. And you can see it even to this day, even when they invaded Brazil and Venezuela, they have the light versus the brown, the light versus the dark. And they bring that bullshit over here in America in this day and time. So they think that they're different, some of them. When they play the drums, it comes from Africa. Santa Maria, Shangos, a black art came from Africa. But those have been brainwashed in those countries, has been raised to make you think, and I think that they're different. I remember I met a guy who told me he wasn't black. I said, well, damn, what the hell are you? He said, I'm Puerto Rican. I said, no, that's a country. What are you? Because I know it's only two colors. It's only two colors. Excuse me. It's only two nations. Because when you start studying about the Ashanti tribes and the Zulu nation or Zulu tribe, you don't hear about no black and white. You hear about nations. You see what I'm saying? They needed a color, so they gave themselves that. The white folks, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, this is not racism, because I'm not saying that all white people are bad, because was a lot of white people through history that helped us to get out of slavery, even to fight during civil rights movement. Well, I'll be getting into that if you keep, logging on. So hit that subscribe button for me. Hit that subscribe button. So when we're over here, you have those like myself born here or you born here, those Spanish speaking brothers and sisters, they're born here too. They're raised around us. They don't think like their fathers and forefathers who was put into slavery so that they were a Latino, which is an identity from Central Italy in Europe. So I know the brothers who talking, they're Puerto Ricans and everything are not saying they're Europeans, right? That's safe to say. And in Spain, they did the same thing. So when they're over here now and we're growing up, these older versions that come out here, they try to make them think that they're different and want them to stay amongst their people because they've been separate. Just like the light-skinned brothers in them over here. When they got into the slave master's house and we was on the field, they made us think, they put us against each other. You're jealous in him because he's getting more food, he got more better clothes, and you want that, you want that status quo like him. So you try to do, vindictive shit to get on that status quo, or you start talking down to your people because you want to be on that status quo. That's how the Spanish people are. They're like that right now. A lot of them, they not jacking what the media say. And we all know Fat Joe's not racist. How could he be racist if his whole career and his circle was around black people? How? He broke bread with them. He fought with them. He even bled with them. When he decided to go on his own after DTN, and later on he started Terror Squad, yes, he was supposed to get someone that looks like him and represent him and put them in the game because there wasn't there. So of course he's supposed to open the door, wouldn't you? But he went and got a dark-skinned sister. He didn't get a Spanish-speaking sister. Whether he found her or not, he liked her enough where he signed her. Whether you say it's about money or whatever, but he called her sister and he became the godfather of Remy's daughter. That sounds racist to you? That don't sound racist to me. I think he was just talking on a, he was just using a term. And people took it because he addressed Lord Jamar. And it was the way he said it. He said, these jealous black radical niggas who don't like anybody, these niggas. So when you come at a person like Lord Jamar on a political standpoint in which he's at in hip hop and in his personal life, you in trouble, man. You can't do that. You can say that to Jay-Z and Kanye West. You can't say that's like saying that to Farrakhan. That's like saying that to Jesse Jackson. You know what I'm saying? You just put yourself in a world of trouble. So they made it a political thing. That brother ain't racist, man. He ain't racist at all. But when we come in these communities, they try to make us think we're different. Always try to, I don't care where you go, they always try to make us different. They call us an African American. They call them a Hispanic from Spain, Spaniards, Hispanic. See, ain't no difference. It's the same shit. We just all messed up, but we're the same people. But they don't want to tell us that. That's why Spanish speaking people, like I said, is practicing the same things at home. You ever ate Spanish food? Same thing. We call it rice pilau. They call it something else. We make oxtails. We use the small oxtail. They use the big oxtail. The same thing they eat. They probably season it different, but it's the same thing. And the same vegetables that we eat, they call it something else in their language, but it's the same thing. Same thing. You say Jesus, they say Jesus. Jesus in Spanish, the same thing. Yo, I ran into a dude that was Puerto Rican, right? And this was my first time seeing this kind of Puerto Rican. He was darker than me, but he knew Spanish. So I thought he was like one of my friends of mine that grew up around the way, around Spanish-speaking people. He just adapted to it and he know it. And he was like, nah, I'm from Puerto Rico. I said, wait, what? He said, I'm from Puerto Rico. Because since I've been going every time I saw somebody that was Puerto Rican, they didn't look like me. So I was just flabbergasted, like, wait, you lying. He was like, nah, I'm Puerto Rican. I was actually born in Puerto Rico. And he had to tell me about Puerto Rico. And he told me that in Puerto Rico, what we're going through over here, they are going through the same thing because you got people who was raped during the transatlantic slave trade who took the complexion of Fat Joe. And they feel that they are better than us. And those over here that this complexion that comes from that country, they don't want to be associated with us because they've been trying to fit in with their people over there with the lighter color. So now that they're over here, they try to keep that type of momentum and they say, I'm not black, I'm Dominican. Yo, I ran into this. And I was just like, yo, I thought we was fucked up. Y'all fucked up. Y'all really messed up. So, I don't want people to actually think that Fat Joe is racist. I think that he misspoke, and I think he should apologize because they're gonna try to utilize that to break his career. You got a family to feed. So what? Say I apologize. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing wrong with that. But I just can't believe that they just twisted this story. So he said, wow. Yeah, I just can't believe that they twisted this story so much. When they put our brothers and sisters that speak this language in the movies and they show the history. You remember in the movie Apocalypto? You ain't seen no white people in there. You saw Indians that just look like our brothers and sisters from the hood. They're just a little, like us in Africa in some places, they was a little half naked, but cheeks was out, making you laugh. You know what I'm saying? Pause, as y'all say. But they was half naked and they was doing their own type of war. I remember watching it in the movie theater, and at the end of the movie, as they was about to go head to head, they saw like two ships, and the ships that came had the Christian symbol. I kid you not, the whole movie theater said, "Oh shit!" Because see, we already knew there was trouble as soon as we saw that. We knew it was trouble, and and this is what's going on today, and even in hip hop, they try to make us think like we're different. You know what I'm saying? We're not different. We're the same people. They just lighter. We had multiple colors. You don't get me wrong. White people during slavery kind of messed us up a little bit more with the color thing, but we always had different shades of color. We was always everywhere. It's no difference. They want to make us think that we all was in slavery and we all wasn't free. Like I said, you had some black people that had some black people in slavery. You had some black people that had some white people in slavery in America. Everywhere wasn't in slavery. Just like we wasn't all just tolerating slavery. Man, we was tearing shit up. That's why Willie Lynch law had to come out because it was over thousands of revolutions. They couldn't control us. You can't. It's not in our nature. Look how crazy we are in our mind. And you still can't control us. You know what I'm saying? Because God didn't design us like that. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want to deviate from what I'm saying. But with Fat Joe, he's not racist. He grew up in the South Bronx. He grew up around hip hop. I know they said, who started hip hop first? I just broke it down to you. Does it matter really? Because the people that speak out that language and our language, this ain't our language. We're the same. So when hip hop started, they was there. Okay, maybe they didn't wasn't the first one to pick up a mic and say hippity hop, hip hop. Yeah, okay, we know that's Cool Herc. He wasn't even intentionally trying to make hip hop. He just said that every party and it took a life on its own. He didn't say, yo, I'm gonna create something called hip hop. He said it himself. But there were Spanish people in them got in that damn party jamming when he was doing that. So when this started, they was already there. It was already there. Just like when the Portuguese came to rape us and change that DNA was already here. We speak Spanish. So why everybody talking about who started what first? It doesn't matter. We the same people. We started it. Period. The only thing I can say, I'm sorry, white folks. You ain't. I'm sorry, you ain't. I know y'all be saying, yo, you slugger, you going hard on the white folks. No, I tell the truth. You know what I'm saying? Don't get me wrong. They're gifted. They're gifted and they're smart and they're very intelligent people. Hey, they walked on the goddamn moon. They're smart. I have nothing against that. But I just have something against lies. That's all. And I'm here to tell it. They did this shit. They fucked us up. But they now because their children are growing different now. They don't have Bruce Springsteen on the wall no more. They got Pop Smoke and Seth G now. They things times change. They don't want to wear those tight jeans, and they wanted to wear the little baggy jeans. They want to show their butt cheeks a little bit. They want when they shoot stuff up, they want to hear hip hop. Things change. So just like times now is times are changing, and you got powers that be that want to keep things the same way, and that's why they're getting at with Fat Joe and Lord Jamal. But one thing I do respect with Lord Jamal, he didn't really come back and disrespect him. He ain't call him a racist, this and all because he knew that he was around Fat Joe most of his career. He knew that brother ain't racist. They got their own personal issues as well too, because they're from around the same circle. You know what I'm saying? So they knew that. People just wanted to just take this thing and make it run. They're gonna beat Fat Joe. Or I ain't gonna lie, they kicking his ass. They kicking his ass. Every time I turn around on social media, his face is there. I said, God damn, I know Puffy in there like, whoo, man, y'all taking the heat off me, man. You know what I'm saying? So, that's pretty much it with you. Don't let these people try to make it seem like these brothers are different and Fat Joe is wrong from saying this and saying that when his DNA and his origin and his ancestors come from Africa. And you're gonna tell him to say sorry. That don't make no sense. What if he came up there and said what I said? He would shut a lot of motherfuckers down. Excuse my language. He would shut a lot of people down. They would start soundbiting him. As a matter of fact, they probably wouldn't give him a microphone. They were like, nah, we ain't gonna let him talk. We ain't gonna let him talk because he gonna know what he's talking about. So that's the story with them too. You know, and I can't believe that Fat Joe got spun around like that. I'm surprised even Remy is quiet. I thought she would speak up for him. She quiet. I guess she got her own situation. She got her own situation. But that's how it is in hip hop as well. They want to keep us separated. And they always did that in hip hop. When we was breakdancing, when I was growing up and we was breakdancing and they had crews, they were trying to put the blacks against the Spanish brothers or the Latino brothers at each other. They all tried to do that. You know what I'm saying? You had some brothers that want black people down with their crew and vice versa because we was made to think that we were different when we're not. You got two different people that was kidnapped by the same people. Their names were stripped, their religions were stripped, everything about them was stripped. And then it was given languages and names that don't even belong to them. You know any African dude in Africa named Jesus or Chico Rivera? No, right? But they practicing all this African stuff. And then they will tell you, they like their great grandmothers will tell you, yeah, we got ancestors in Africa, but for some reason they got them thinking that they're different out here. I don't know, maybe it's the complexion and the texture of their hair. I don't know. You got something like that. You got something to tell you they don't mess with black people, yet they're black. But yet you got black people, my complexion, to tell you they don't mess with black people. And you got this world is sick. This world is sick. Y'all got anything out there y'all want to talk about? I'm having fun. I just had to address this really. I really did. I wanted to make a short video about it and then talk about something Saturday. I think I'm gonna be talking about the gangs Saturday. I think I'm gonna be talking about the birth of the gang banging in New York City and the result of it of what we see today. Because this is the result of gang banging today. Crack was the result of my era. Dope was the result of my father's era. This era here is the result of the gang banging era. That shit is, man. So, what's up, y'all? Y'all quiet out there. What's going on? How many people out there? How many people out there? I can't really see. Let me see. Did Federal ever respond to people? Nah, he ain't respond to people right now. His manager and them, they probably telling him, don't say right now because you're on fire. Because it's like whatever you say right now, and you at the top of the food chain, they're gonna soundbite you, they're gonna spin whatever you say, you know what I mean? So he's quiet, but eventually I believe he is gonna respond. You know what I mean? Probably trying to figure out the best way how to handle it because now he got a lot of he got a lot of pro-black people coming at his head right now. And what's so interesting about Lord Jamal remark, his response, excuse me, he said, I want all black people to ban his new album. What's his new album? They changed on me. Yeah, it's a cover, and it's crazy because he hated his father, but it's him and his father on the front. I don't know, but I never heard it. I didn't even know it was out until Lord Jamal uh said that. I didn't know. He was like, he want all black people to ban his album, but at the same time, he want all the Latinos in the Latino community to support his album and buy it. Let's keep it real. Let's keep it 100. Latinos do not support Latinos in hip hop. I'm just being real. They don't. You had the Beat Nuts producers. They ain't blow up like that. So Fat Joe started making a little noise, and definitely Big Pun. You had who else you have? I'm trying to think, man. With Tony Sunshine, he was an R&B slash rapper. He was got down with Terror Squad later on. He was singing on the hook. You ain't hear nothing from him. You ain't hear nothing from what's that one that was down with them two Cuban Links? He tried. People ain't swarm. Now Big Pun is a different story because Big Pun really had talent. That dude can spit. He had bars for days. That's my favorite Spanish rapper because he's really the only one that really did. I would say Spanish speaking rapper, excuse me. He's the only one I like. He was nice. He made good hooks. You can understand what he's saying, even though he rhymed fast. He had some good songs. So he blew up. That's why they gave him the title, the king of what is it? The king of Puerto Rican rap, something like that. They gave him in the Bronx, and they gave him a memorial and everything. Fat Joe ain't never got that. And Fat Joe been in the game 10 years before him. Fat Joe got more albums. As a matter of fact, Fat Joe is not even that talented when it comes to rhyming. Yeah, he got one. He got some good shit. Yeah. Joe got some good. Don't get me wrong. Joe got some good songs. Hey, Joey. He got some good songs. But for some reason, he just can't get over that hump to become a real big hip hop artist. You know what I'm saying? So hold on. Heard he have a new album out or a song. Yeah. Haven't heard nothing new yet. Yeah, he got a new album. It's called They Changed on Me. It's him and I believe it's his father on the front cover because he looked like just like Joe. But Joe always was voicious that he had some dislikes about his father. I guess maybe down the line in years they neighbor or something and he put him on the front cover. I don't know. But that was just shocking to me to see it. I was like, oh, well, maybe they buried the hatchet. I won't be in people personal lives that much. I get come up there and I see something I need to talk about. I'm gonna talk about it. But I ain't here to be knocking people down and kicking them for whatever they do unless they deserve it. But I'm not here just to bash people because like I said, I don't believe, in my opinion, that Joe is racist. I think people just taking this and making it a political thing, and they just trying. Some people trying to get views. Some people just trying to hurt them because just a couple of years ago, everybody was messing with him. Everybody, he was on people podcasts. And look, even when he was on Math Hoffa podcast and he was using the N word, Math Hoffa and all those black people, all those black brothers that was sitting there didn't say nothing. You know why? Because they're used to hearing him say that. He didn't just start saying that. If he just started saying that, you right now, you would have heard so many black successful rappers come on YouTube and all these other talk shows and flame him right now. They ain't saying nothing because they used to talking like that. That's why he was so comfortable with saying it out in the open. You won't hear no KKK person do an interview and say that in the open. I don't care what radio station he's at. You know what I'm saying? But Joe did it because he's comfortable. And he feels comfortable that he's there with his people. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yo, I'll tell you, man, that rap game, yo, success is really a motherfucker. And okay. Thank you, Kiki baby. Success is a motherfucker. It really is. And I really understand why people always say, be careful what you ask for in success. You know what I'm saying? To me, I'll tell my wife this several times. I always say, yo, I don't want to be that successful. like a millionaire and billionaire. Now, don't get me wrong. You throw it to me, I'm gonna definitely take it. But I'm not focused. That's not my main focus. Is I'm trying to be on a Forbes or be this type of big millionaire. Don't get me wrong. I want to be successful. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to take care of my family. I'm comfortable with that as long as my children is not hungry. You know, it's funny because Christmas is coming, and get stuff, and my wife is like, we need this and we need that. How it is in America. Every day a family needs something in the house, and I be trying to save, and I get pissed off. I be like, oh man, I'm trying to do this, but I gotta do this for the children, and it's all good. You know what I'm saying? It's all right with me because as long as my family happy and they got what they want, yeah, it's all good. So I love it. You know what I mean? So I ain't really trying to stress to be this big ass multi-millionaire and show off materialistic shit of my success and my hard work. Don't get me wrong. Like I said, I would love it, but that's not my aim. My aim is to take care of my family. And when I leave, they're comfortable and they make sure the young ones grow up and need for nothing too. That's how rich white people do it. And then, and of course, going along the way, you keep the stocks and everything like that. But that's my main focus. And I'm happy with that. You know what I'm saying? Because when you get into that success, you can't walk the streets. You get in all these magazines, you be in people's magazines. You be out there in a beach with getting a suntan, or you at a restaurant, you like that. And they taking pictures of you eating. I don't want that type of success. Keep up the fantastic diet. I'm proud of you. Oh, thank you, Kiki, baby. I don't want that success. Because that success, you be scrutinized. I had a situation at a party of mine. Excuse me. And I was a little bit tipsy. And I didn't remember all about sacrifice, brother. And that's what you're doing when it comes to your family. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, it's all about sacrifice. And at my party, I had a situation and I had a little bit too much to drink. And unknown to me, I said some things that I shouldn't have said that kind of hurt the feelings of some close dear friends. And I was shocked. So immediately I apologized, but it made me realize as well, I did it at my place of business. I'm a brand. So if you do folio shit, it hurts your brand. You see what I'm saying? So I know that you have to be careful what you say and what you do every time you walk at that door, especially when you got a lot of things that that you got going for you, and people's expecting a lot of things from you. I can't do what I used to do back in the days. I can't want to fight anybody, or the typical things we see in the hood. Hey, Antona. Typical things you see in her, I can't do no more because now if I do it, things. Oh, it's Candy. Hey, I'll lose a lot. You know what I'm saying? I lose the things that I got going on for us business wise. Certain different incomes coming in, that'll go. Now I put everything on my wife, and then wherever I'm at, if I'm locked up, now I gotta put another bill on her head because I'm crying because I need something. Nah. That's why I understand why a lot of celebrities, they talk that shit, but they don't actually act and do it. They'll talk from afar. They'll beef on the record, or if they got a situation, they'll set it out quick because you're a brand. You fuck up your brand, you fuck up everything. So you got to be serious about it. So that's why I said I believe Joe was going to apologize because he ain't going to have no choice because black people is flaming his ass right now. For what he said. And I don't think it is about, I don't actually think it's about what he said. I think it's about how he said it and who he said it to. Because I know, like I said, if he'd have said it to Busta Rhymes in a room, nothing would have happened. They'd have laughed that shit off. But he said it in front of a camera, a person that he had an issue with or have issues with for several years. And this man is a very radical. That's what he said, right? Radical. Oh, okay. It's all about accountability. And once you own up to your mistake, you become better and know better. So that's great that you took the accountability of your event and what you said. Yes. I had to. And they were, like I said, they was dead to me. And I don't want people to get on my website and be on a view and say that, because if you telling the truth, I'm not gonna, because I respond to your ass if you're lying. If you say something truth, I'm not gonna come out and respond and say you lying. I just gotta chalk up and clean my mistake, because as they said, in every failure there's a lesson. So I learned my lesson. My lesson is, yo, when I'm at my party, I can't drink like that no more. Have some champagne, have some wine, and sit your ass down and host the party. You know what I'm saying? When you want to drink, then when your way home, then you hit the Henny and you do what you do. You know what I mean? And plus, my wife was there, so I'm embarrassing my wife. I gotta clean my shit up. You know what I'm saying? So that's so I could understand these celebrities and these entertainers. It's embarrassing. They don't want to be in front of cats. So I can imagine what Diddy going through. God damn. Could you imagine if he was home and all the cameras will be running around him? And then you got your children in school. Yeah, I don't drink at mom's either. I come to realize that I can't drink. When I was younger, I was able to handle that, but in a few months I'm gonna be 50, so my body is changing. So I realized I can't. Like when I was growing up, I used to drink straight. I'm talking about I used to hit E&J, Henny straight, the bottle, the whole bottle, while smoking blunts back to back. I can't do that no more. Now, if I drink something like, can you put some ice and put a chaser? And put a chaser in it now. Say champagne is very, very good and smooth and won't get you woke up, but you can still vibe and drink and won't get fucked up. And Tona said I was the same way. I used to mix my liquor, no juice at all. Yeah. The other day, me and my wife went live. She made me mimosa, because I never drunk it before. Yeah, I know. I'm a hard drinker. So she made it for me yesterday, and I'm drinking it. I'm like champagne and orange juice. I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, that thing it started hitting. I said, whoa. I said, I kind of like this here, but you ain't smelling like alcohol. I said, yeah, keep my cologne smelling good. But yeah, so Fat Joe, he's gonna apologize. And I don't know what it is. It's like, I guess Monica said, all my friends drink and I be acting like I'm drinking, but it only ginger ale on the rocks. Nah, ginger ale on the rocks. You nah. That sound like my wife. You see what? Nah, she on her champagne. Now, actually, she turned me out to the champagne and the wine. I start drinking that a little more. Don't get me wrong, I'll be drinking my little Henny, my Tito's and stuff like that. But now after that last situation, I'm not gonna be doing that. I drink a little wine or champagne, but mostly I think I'm gonna be drinking champagne because I didn't like that. And then to not remember anything, that's not good. You know what I'm saying? Because what if I would have did something crazy and somebody's husband beat my ass and I woke up in the hospital talking about I don't remember nothing. You know what I'm saying? So I can't have that. But yeah, yeah, that's how it be. Yeah, that's how it be. So in that game, you get into that game, you become a celebrity. The celebrity be scrutinized for everything, the way you treat your children. I remember it was a entertainer said something about to their child on the phone, like you're an idiot, you need to be knocked upside your fucking head, and they put that shit on TV and the news, and they took him through the ringer for saying. I said, God damn, he just cursed his child out. But I guess it's all about views, because that's what the media sells. They don't sell good news, they sell fear. So when you see fear or hear about fear, you tune into the news. Nobody want to hear about a cat in a tree. They want to hear about rainstorms and earthquakes and murders and killing. That's what brings the views in. So when we do stuff like this on YouTube, they talk about bullshit that build controversy. So you can log on and they get the views and they get the ching ching. But I ain't trying to do all that. Yeah, the world we live in. But I ain't trying to do all that. I'm just trying to tell the truth as well. Don't get me wrong. Of course, what I speak about also has some sort of controversy, but that's not my main focus. My main focus is the message. So when everybody's talking about how Fat Joe was wrong and how Lord Jamal this and that, talk about why it's like that. why we see each other like that, why we think we're different, but we're the same. And then we could come to an understanding why he's able to use that language and why we're so comfortable letting him use it. You know what I'm saying? Of course, we don't let white people use it. I don't care how long we've been around each other because you didn't live around us like our Spanish speaking brothers and sisters. You didn't live around us like that. You didn't grow up like that around us. So, of course, you don't have that same gateway to say what you want to say like that. But they do, you know? Monica said the things we supposed to do right, they said is wrong. And the shit we do bad, they approve to be right. So no one really knows what is right or wrong. Yeah, at times it's like that because we live in a country that's ran by, I don't want to sound spooky. So I would say ran by cabinets of people I will call the scientists of evil. These people don't want human beings like you and I, black, brown, or white, to believe in righteousness. So anything that is right, they would say it's wrong. And they would take the wrong and say it's wrong, and then say it's right, and then say it's wrong. For example, if you have the Constitution, right? We have constitutional rights. They say you have a right to bear arms, but you can't get it unless you got a license. So you really don't have a right. You have a right to do what the fuck you want to do. But here's a curve. They got a curveball. And then when you do have the license, you can't do certain shit with the gun. But yet you have a constitution to bear right. You have a constitutional right of freedom of speech to say what you want. But if you say too much truth, they use propaganda to lock your ass up. You see, they all full of fucking lies, you know what I'm saying? But that's what they do. They said the earth rotates, well, the clock rotates from right all the way down. If it rotates starting the right side, but the earth rotates on the left. So how time is going one way and the earth is going another. Then they got daylight savings. You see, they playing this mind game. You don't know what's real and what's it remind me of the Matrix movie. That's what it remind me. We just go with society and the trend. Yeah, we just go with society and the trend because you have to follow who rules. Whoever rules, break the rules. Excuse me, whoever rules, make the rules and break the rules. So whoever rules said what goes. And society has to go with it, or you're gonna be lost in the sauce. Or if you strike in the ears of some people who will follow you, then now you become a revolutionary that goes against the powers that be. And that's why they ain't like Jesus, because Jesus came in on some gangster shit. He went up in a synagogue. They try to make him out like a punk. I'm reading the book. They say he went into the synagogue and he turned the tables over and threw the money changers out. They didn't say that he escorted them. They didn't say, "Can you please leave?" They said he threw them out. That's some gangster shit. Okay, what's that? That's true. Had to change my name, fooling with you. Okay, Candy Vibes. That's the majority of society are followers. We rarely have leaders these days. Very gangster. Yeah, we rarely have. We have them, but a lot of them is so scared because of history. They saw what they did to Malcolm. They saw what they did to Marcus Garvey. They saw what they did to Nubu Ali. They saw what they did to the whole entire civil rights movement. They seen what they doing to us even today. You know what I'm saying? They already got TD Jakes in his back pocket because ain't no way in the world you got to make a church that big, but you the lamb of the sheep. You're there for the people. I'm just saying that I'm not saying that. Well, no, yeah, I am boldly criticizing because I know the book. And all the prophets in the book and you representing went to the poor. They never went to the rich because the rich are stingy to give up their money. You know what I'm saying? So how you get so rich? Yeah, history declares how they will rip it apart and literally kill the dream. Yeah, they shot the dream in his throat and he died after he said his dream turned into a nightmare because he knew what it was. But that's what they do, divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. And they do, and They doing it today with the divide and conquer. You know, they got the drill rappers. They don't want you to hear the more conscious rappers who today you will say maybe Jay-Z or who else? Kanye West. Well, I say conscious, I'm saying that they're speaking on things that make you think, that make you want to take care of your family and make you better in life. Whether people say Kanye is crazy, Kanye ain't crazy. Crazy people can't make 100 million a year. You have to be very intelligent. What Kanye West was doing, he was just bold, saying shit that he shouldn't have said. But I think he just wanted to get out his contract. That's why he was talking about the Jews. You know what I'm saying? Because everything he said was right. I mean, they controlled the transatlantic slave trade. They controlled it. The Queen of England, you know, Prince Charles and their family, them bastards over there, yeah, they were sending Africana who colonized here and Christopher Columbus around the world to find a new world for new slaves because they were set tripping over there in Europe. That's why you see all those movies like Spartacus. You always see Rome going against Greek and Scotland, like Braveheart was going against England, and it was nothing but war with white people in the old world. So they needed a new world. That's why they had to find something. They said that we got to get out of here because ain't nothing but homicidal and suicidal shit over here. And then they ran into us and they said, wait, we found a way. But we gotta separate them. Can't unify them. They outnumber us in the world. So, you know, technology, they the best at it. You're not the best at technology. You don't believe me? Go on any YouTube or Google and punch up the best master of tricks or technology and watch you come up. It won't be you. Maybe in the spelling bee, but it won't be you. They the master at tricks, man. They make you see shit that ain't there. You don't believe me? People see white Jesus on the wall, but he ain't there. He ain't even white, but they believe it. See, I told I know y'all like, yo, he full of laughs tonight. Yo, I really wasn't gonna get on tonight, but after I kept seeing this Fat Joe stuff, I said, nah, man, I gotta talk about it. And I felt like I had to talk about it the right way. Because people, like I said, they thinking that we're different. And this bullshit that's going on right now is infusing in our minds to program us that we're different. Just by the bullshit going on, because it's forcing people to take sides. It's forcing us to take sides against each other again. So I ain't coming up here talking about no fuck Fat Joe. You know what I'm saying? I know probably some people was like, yeah, he gonna flame him. No, I was not gonna flame him because I bought a lot of his albums. I was rapping a lot of his albums. Don't get me wrong, he's not one of the greatest top 10. I ain't gonna say that. But he know how to make some good ass songs, you know. Logan, what's up? Funny how the dude that unalive the CEO, his people was rooting for him to free him, saying he guilty. Shaking my head. Yeah, they want to free, you know. Um, I was gonna talk about that a little bit another time because I was doing some research on it because you know it's dealing with pharmaceutical companies and CEOs and pharmaceutical companies is they are creating drugs to get rich. That's all. They're not creating drugs to heal. They're creating a band-aid that has side effects, hoping that the side effects will get you sick so you could get more medication that has more side effects. So by the time you become 50 or 55 or 60, you're on 8 different medications, which means that your body is breaking down for death. So they got to keep that coming. That's money. That's crack. That's the crack era right there. So whatever he went through, he got upset. And this white fella came over here. And for some, I don't know, he got some sort of information and some connections. And he waited for this guy to come out. And was some type of exotic gun. I don't know what it was, but he blew the back of his head away and left him in the street. And they found him. I knew they was gonna find him. I mean, they claimed they found Osama bin Laden in a hole in another country. So how could you not find this guy? You know what I'm saying? So they found this guy, and now they got him up for trial, and white folks have him as a hero. They were in court and they held the 4 a.m. protesting, saying, "Free him, free him. He's not guilty." The dude, VA, the CEO dude. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think, in my opinion, I think a lot of those Caucasians out there at the time, even if it was black people as well, I think probably a lot of them is rooting for him as well because a lot of them got screwed out of healthcare. You know what I'm saying? It's all about money with them. You know what I mean? So, a lot of people was rooting for him. A lot of people got tired. A lot of people, they can't get a heart transplant because they don't have enough. And it's crazy because you got places like Cuba that has the best doctors in the world. And he had connections with Gaddafi, who created the United States of Africa. He was putting 52 states of Africa together in that big continent, that big ass continent, and he was making money to rival the American dollar. That's why Gaddafi died, but that's a whole nother topic. But what Gaddafi was doing, he was funding Cuba with their medical supplies because they have the best doctors and the best surgeons over there, and they got free healthcare. Free. Cuba's so bad and poor, but they got free healthcare. It's supposed to be the best country in the world, but you ain't got no healthcare. You trying to get help first. You trying to get this. You trying to get that. This don't cover that. That don't cover this. And then when you do, they tell you got to copay. You got to pay $1. If I came to you, if I came to you saying I ain't got no health insurance, I ain't got no money, why you got me paying copay? It's all about money. So I guess this fella got tired and he was upset with the bull and he blew that man head off. And now white people, I'm gonna say this too, because Logan, you brought this on, and I wanna say this. Us and white folks is genetically made up different. A lot of them understand us now because a lot of them has been raised around us and in our culture in this day and time, because the racism in the 60s and the 50s is not the type of same racism that's going on to the day today. It's more hidden, it's more socially and economically, but the children nowadays, they're not really with that. You know what I'm saying? I was on saw a video with this guy. He said both sides of his family is racist. He's racist. They racist, excuse me. He said he don't like me. He said they will always try to say, "Why are you watching that?" You know what those people do. So what they do is they breed this type of hatred in their children as they're very young. So as they grow up and they never been in the hood and they only see us acting a certain way on TV that Tyler Perry and a lot of other people portray us to be, when they get to a certain age, that's their perception. So automatically we don't understand this and we say, "Yo, they racist." But that's how they've been programmed. So a lot of them is really not. They really just don't understand. And some are, like I said, some they're not really trying to hear that shit. You know what I mean? So when you got people like white people was doing that kind of crazy shit out there, killing CEOs, you know, the media takes a spin for it. Be like, although we killing our own, we still stick together, and they want him free. I knew, yo, as soon as it happened, I told my wife, she could tell you. I said, "Yo, why they said it was a mental health issue with him?" And what they saying now? What they saying now? Because that's what they do every time they shoot up a school. About before the week is out, it's a mental health issue. My wife poured me some. What is this? Oh, champagne. No, it's wine. You know. So she know if I start drinking that, I'll really start going in. But I don't want to do that. You know. But like I said, my whole purpose here is to, you know, send a message. And I might not be on here long. Or anybody that talks like this, they get banned. They had a brother named Brother Ben X. He was on here. Young brother. Banned him. I said, God damn. Anybody that tried to open the eyes of the people will get banned. They don't want y'all knowing the truth. But I'm gonna tell you the truth. And those that know me, they'd be like, yo, I never hear you talk like this, because when I'm out and about and I'm with you and we all got drinks, you're not gonna listen to what I got to say. So I gotta speak on your level. But I'm here. This is my level. So if you want to hear what I got to say, man, I got a whole lot of shit to say. You know what I mean? I can't wait to do a lecture on the value of the dollar and show you how much this country's in debt. Oh man. Man, if I doing that, you gonna feel like you working for nothing. No, seriously. Because when I got this knowledge, that's how I felt. I was like, yo, man, I'm doing all this shit for nothing. But I said, you know what? I'm not gonna work for nobody. I'm gonna do my own thing. Not saying everybody has to be, everybody owns a business, because we have to have some employees. You know what I'm saying? But this system, the system is, man, it's falling. It's falling bad. You can even see it in the media, all the killings, everything. It's still doing the same thing, making us look bad in the media. I think, you be honest, I think it's played out. Don't you think? No, no, for real. Even you got people out here protesting free Palestine, because Palestine was taken by Europeans, because France, Britain, and America put Hitler in power, along with the Jewish Federal Reserve banks. Jews? Yeah, Jews. They financed Hitler. And then, but what happened was they didn't expect Hitler to say, psych, gotcha. And he went on a rampage to kill all the Jews. You know what I'm saying? Because the Jews, when, it was a certain amount of them called the Zionists, and they they wanted a religion. They wanted a place. They were all white Europeans, and they wanted a religion. And they was like, sure, you could get a religion, which one you want. And they couldn't take Islam, of course. Christianity, black people, please. So they took Jews in, because it's not that many Hebrews out here, you know. And they took it and they made it into a cult. And the cult is called Zionism, right? And they want everything for Jews, by Jews, and only Jews. And they believe by taking our black people's identity in the Torah and Bible and place it on themselves, that they could run the world. So what you see them doing now, they've been doing that since the 15th, 14th, 12th century. And they get rounded up everywhere they go, and they get kicked out of countries by kings, because they be trying to overthrow and take everything over. This ain't racism. This is real history. I forgot the young man name is a white guy who they consider him to be not the Messiah, but he was the brain and the architect of the Zionist community. You understand what I'm saying? I just started going to the mosque, and let me tell you, the number one thing they teach is we are the original. Support your own people and do for self. That's right. We are the original people. Support yourself. Do for yourself and do for your own. That's not racism. But hold on, real quick. But so when the Jews, once they started their Zionism, they started to do everything what they're doing now around the world. So when they got over there with Hitler in them, and Hitler got into power, he already knew that he had to get rid of every one of them, because of what they was going to be trying to do. They're going to try to run the world, and right now they are. They have banks in the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the DuPonts. They own the Federal Reserve Bank. America don't print money. They borrow money. That's how the debt goes. And they have banks throughout the world. And this is what Hitler feared. So he was trying to kill all of them. So when they finally got rid of Hitler, it was time to make peace with them, because they couldn't get Germany and they couldn't get Russia. So they said, okay, we're going to give you some land. We're going to give you some property, what you want. They said, well, since we stealing their religion, and the Moors civilized the Christians over there and built Jerusalem, we want Palestine. We want a land. So they gave them a piece of land. That's how they in Gaza, and that's why the fighting is going on. And they taking more land and more land and more land and more because they're trying to take the whole fucking thing. There are more Jews in New York City than over there. Why they over here? Because they're trying to take over the world. But I know went somewhere else. Y'all all right out there? Y'all all right out there? Okay, okay. I'm just trying to. But yeah, they trying to run the world. That's why you can't teach them. They got their own schools. They're protective of their people. Their women is not outside after 8 o'clock. They're in house. They're protecting their women. That's not racist. That's just the love of your people. That's why everybody look at us like we crazy. You know what I'm saying? We got our women all out there half naked, 3 in the morning, selling ass. They ain't doing that. They ain't even trying to hit it. They will clean you up before that shit happen. No, we got a place for you. But we don't do that. You know what I'm saying? Because they knocked a hole in our head. So we don't know who we are. And you can't love what you do not know. That's why you hear brothers like, brothers from like Farrakhan and all, they always beat it in your head who you are as a black person. And people will say, yo, you're on that black power stuff. I don't even know what black power is. I really never experienced it. No, because I mean, we don't own no land out here. We don't have no banks, right? We don't dictate to the government. We can't even make the government buckle like Israel. So I really don't know what black power is. I can tell you through history, but I never had that feeling in this life that I'm in. You know. So yeah, so they, that's why Palestine and Israel is getting it on. And to be funny, and you reading the Bible, there's no location of Israel. That's a prophet's name. So I don't even in 1945, you ain't got no directions in the Bible to tell where Israel at. But these guys, they made up something. This shit is crazy, man. But that's what they do. I think sometimes I can't really blame them because they don't even want to tell you who they are because they are ashamed. And I probably would be too. They don't say I'm Caucasian. They just say no, I'm white. Because if you keep saying Caucasian, then they have to. Then you, in your ignorance and our ignorance, we start googling and trying to find out where the hell is the Secaucus Mountain. And then you start realizing it is in Turkey, near Turkey somewhere. And then you realize it's in the caves. And you're like, wait a minute, they don't got no pyramids, they don't got no cows. No, they're just caves. It's just a mountain. It's just kind of embarrassing. And then you realize that you didn't make shit. So you had to steal it from other people and put your name on it, you know? So understand that they will try to hide this sort of history and install this white supremacy in their children to make their children believe that they made this, they created this, because now you feel a sense of belonging, like you feel good about your people. Because if you don't feel good about your people, then you lost. I heard something from Marcus Garvey. He said, show me a people without a flag, and I'll show you a people who don't love each other. And I thought about us because the American flag is not ours. We was in slavery when they got that flag. That flag represents a people who are free to do what they want to do and build a nation. And they made that flag after they defeated Britain for their freedom in this country. So we ain't had no flag. So I can understand why we like the way we are. So it all boils down to the Fat Joe and Lord Jamal. You see what I'm saying? Now, how y'all feeling out there? Y'all love Fat Joe? Hey Monica, how's your son doing? I hope he's good out there. I hope your children's good out there. I actually think I'm gonna talk about gang banging Saturday. So if y'all got some people that gang bang, y'all got children you need me to talk to, cousins. Matter of fact, yeah, come up Saturday. He's actually great. That's good. That's good. That's good. That's yeah, come up Saturday and I'm gonna talk about it. I wasn't gonna talk about this no more, but at that what I talked about has been gone as far as gang banging. but I'm gonna talk about it here because this video is gonna stay here. It's not to glorify my past because I can't glorify something that I have nothing to show for. You see what I'm saying? Me changing my mindset, now I got something to show for. The person you see here is not the gangbanger. The person you see here is a person that got knowledge of self, well, the right knowledge of self after gangbanging. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what actually got me out of it. When I started to realize who I was and I learned who I was, I started to love who I was. And I was like, yo, what am I doing? Yo, I'm disrespecting me, meaning my woman, because I'm her and she me. So if she's a bitch, then I'm a bitch ass nigga. If she's a bitch, then I'm a son of a bitch. Oh, I ain't no fucking son of a bitch. You know what I'm saying? So I got to learn who I was and I got to learn who my woman was. And I was like, oh shit. That's why in the Willie Lynch letter, they went after the female first because the female is the key. You're the first nurse. You're the first teacher. You're the first everything. You're the first protector. So you got to get to you first. And once you fucked up, once you're messed up and you give birth to us, now we like, yo, what up, my nigga? Now we messed up. You know, it's a cold world. It's a cold world. You see, I'm so glad teens don't be in the streets. Candy, times your child don't need to be in the street. It can be just the music with the bad influence and the damn TV shows. Yeah, and the damn yeah. Because the last time Candy, I was um I was talking about with the hip hop and back in the 80s where they had X Clan, Brand Nubian, and Public Enemy. And I wasn't on no pro black stuff. I wasn't on no righteous stuff. But hearing that, it influenced me. And I used to get African medallions and African hats. Oh, and I used to have see beads. And the whole hood was walking around like that. We was walking around on some pro black stuff, but we didn't realize what we was doing. But it was the music. See what I'm saying? Just like, music can make a person kill something. I remember when DMX first came out and I was gang banging and he was on some get at me, dog. I was I had a bad mindset at that time. And he came out and he just influenced my garbage. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the music. And that's why, they doing that with Scarlett. Now, you heard Scarlett new song? Oh my God, I love this girl, man. Um, it's called Love is Blind. She took the beat from Eve. Yo, you gotta listen to it. Yeah, because when they got her, they try to change her music and they try to make her into a Nicki Minaj for our daughters. Because Nicki she's older now. She got all the older females. They need they need a new Nicki Minaj for the new generation. They try to get her, it ain't work. She was on IG showing her ass, but you could tell it's not her because when she first started to come out, she was rhyming, doing a lot of poetry, things that you was feeling, things that you was loving, and all of a sudden, they signed her. She started doing these. She started doing videos with gay-looking dudes, and it just wasn't. I'm not saying I got anything against that community, but it just wasn't her. See what I'm saying? Now that I heard Love is Blind, I'm like, yo, whoo, man. She spitting that spit. So hearing that, it inspired me. And I used to do some deep thought and be positive thoughts about what I gotta do for my family and everything. But when you start hearing things like Chef G and all that, I be seeing dudes at the party, gray beard going like that. And I'm like, you still gangbang? But it's the music. It's the influence. It's science. All of that is science. You keep hearing music for this over and over and over and over and over, the same song that you don't like, eventually you're gonna start nodding to it. It's a science to it. And that's what they do. They study human beings and they study how they could keep a group of people separated. They study how they can get a group of people to fight. You know, they call it the mouse trap. You ever seen on PBS? They put the mouse in a trap and they watch it go through the maze, and they control its location and section of where it's going. Hold on, I'm just great job. Thanks, Monica. I'm just glad they paid attention. It is the influence. That's what they get. Oh, that's what got me in the streets. Yeah, yeah, that's what got me in the streets too. Cause I came up in the crack era. So, they started showing, the rappers with the big chains, because at that time the dudes in the streets was getting more money than the rappers. They wasn't getting this type of Jay-Z money and all that. They wasn't even getting $1,000 a show or a song. See what I'm saying? So the crack dealers was getting all the money, getting all the big chains, and people like LL was hanging around them and was like, "Yo, I want to be like them." And they started rocking the chains, and then once it took off in the industry emulated the streets, and the industry pretended and painted all this graphic shit that they claim they do, which they don't do, and they hype the real people in the streets. And there you go. You got us revolving door going in and out of jail on the influence of music and movies. Yeah, they hit us all around the board. Movies, music, food, location. We are really, and they don't hate people. People don't hate us. And I don't want to say it's just white people, because you got black people that want to keep us down so they could be on the status quo as well. You know what I'm saying? Just like there was the same Africans in Africa that was selling us in slavery to white folks. Like, we can't all blame it on white people, because that is not the truth. You know what I'm saying? So you got black people in this country, what you call gatekeepers. They don't want us, man. They don't want us unified. Because if we unified and we do what we got to do, the enemy don't want them no more. They just the babysitters. Bank says, and you know what they do via the schools and the damn games. Oh yeah, the schools. Oh my god. Oh my god. I ain't want to start on. Sometimes it's hard for me to always have this topic about schools, because I don't really want to say things that would persuade a person to take their child out of school, or always think that everything in school is bad, because everything in the school system is not bad. How I know is because we taught them. So, you know what I'm saying? So their little thing kind of evolved. All we need to know is how to read and write. Well, if you want to be a lawyer, well, you got to go to law school. They got that for you. You want to be a doctor, you could go to what's that, doctorate school, and get your doctor's degree. And by the time you finish that, you'll be so much in debt. That's their way of feeding off you. Because this scroll up, bro. I was talking about playing video games via the white people. Hold on, hold on. Hold on. And you know what they do via the schools? Playing scroll up. I was talking about. Oh, nah, yo, those video games with white folk, yo, they create the most graphic games. They create the most dangerous killing machine games. You can't make that. It's not your nature. Just like we can't make the weapons. That's something we can't. It's not your nature. It's just not your nature. It's not our nature. That's why we never made it. Who made the atomic bomb? It wasn't us. It wasn't us. It was them. As soon as they threw the first rock, they knew what weapon was important, and that was it. They took it from there. Once they threw the first rock, not us. We were stuck with spears and stuff. We wasn't doing that all that. We'll kill you with your hand, with our hands. They created all this other flying saucer stuff that I don't can't even comprehend. Where they got diseases where you can't even smell it to kill you. We cannot beat them in war. That is one thing that I learned. You cannot beat the enemy in war, and I'm talking about black and white people who want to keep people of color down. You can't beat them. not in war. The only way you could beat them is to unify and beat them from the inside in. The only way people of color in this country will rise is when this country fall. You can't beat, there's no country in the world that can beat this country in a war. I'm sorry. It's just facts. Even if they have World War III, you're not gonna beat this country in war. It has to fall from within, and that's why they doing it. China, all of them, that's what they're doing. They making it fall from within. And when it fall, they're gonna call the martial law. And then they're gonna start rounding up people from the hood. They're gonna All the supermarkets is gonna be closed down because it's all owned by foreigners. America owns nothing. So what you need to shop if the value of dollar is going, it's in the country for it's martial law. What you buying? You ain't got no money, so everything's shut down. And then they put us in their concentration camps, which is the storage units you see all over the hood in the stadiums. Now I know some of you might be saying, "Nah, we ain't gonna be in no stadiums." Yo, he's stretching it. Oh yeah. Remember what happened with Hurricane Katrina? Who was in the stadiums for weeks and with no food? Okay, I rest my case. It's funny because I was told this before Hurricane Katrina happened. I was taught this. And I was like, come on, stadiums? What happened when it rained? What's going to happen? Like, come on. When Hurricane Katrina happened, they put black and white in that stadium. You had they was gonna have they were the newscasters was outside the stadium talking about we got dead people on the road. It was dead people on the road because people was getting raped in the stadiums and everything, killed everything. People, food was getting stoned. Yo, it was crazy. So just imagine all around the country. Y'all all right? Y'all all right up there? Out there? Okay. Testing 1, 2, 3. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that subscribe button. You know what I'm saying? See what we had? We were just talking about Lord Jamar Fat Joe, and look where it took us. But you know, when I talk about this stuff, it always leads me everywhere and anywhere because everything is a domino effect in order to keep us down. There are a group of people that actually study us and study our movements and try to socially engineer us into destruction. But you can't destroy us. We can't even destroy us. We kill each other more than any complexion on the planet, and we still here. They can't even kill us in the cotton fields. We still here. We ain't had no thought, we didn't know how to read or write, but we knew how to run away and we knew how to make maps. It's just our nature to survive. That's just us. You know what I'm saying? But we have people that don't teach us this, so we don't know. You know what I mean? But we're great people. You are great. You know, you great just like I'm great. We're just out of our mind. That's all. But it's things are coming back slowly because you're able to name your child the name you want to now. It can't hold the application over your head. See, things are changing. You get to drink wherever you want to drink. You get to ride wherever you want to ride. And you get to say whatever the hell you want to say. I told you things are changing, but somebody else's world is falling and they're very mad. Come on, you mean I made the word nigga and I can't even use it? You know what I'm saying? So, as you can see, by talking about Fat Joe and Lord Jamar and all of this, race will always play a part in America. Because people always say, why do black people always talk about race? Why do black people always talk about racism? That's the first thing they do. Because y'all always do it. Y'all been doing it for over six, what, 6 centuries. And now in this lifetime, for a little 20, 30 years, we keep bringing up it's a problem. Are you serious? You started this, not us. You running everything. You run the schools. You run the money. You run the food coming in, not us. And you call us racist? You know what I'm saying? You saying we keep bringing up race? You know what I mean? But, that's why I like talking about this, just to get the people minds open. So I'm about to end, about 5 minutes. Anybody got something they want to ask? A topic you want me to touch up on? Something you saw in the news you want me to touch up on? We could talk about. It's up to you. You know, I ain't in a rush. My wife cooked. I already ate some chili. Yesterday she made some curry chicken and rice. Man, it's good to have a wife at home. I don't know about y'all. It's good to get married, but I'm gonna tell you one thing about marriage. It's not easy. It's not easy, but it's a beautiful thing. I can see why our ancestors loved to get married and they had three, four wives and everything. But it was different back then. It's not like the European way. Back then, when you get married, or even now as a Muslim, if you get married, it's not no big orgy. Yo, we all in the same bed. No, 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 no. Don't get me wrong. In Saudi Arabia, the Caucasians do that. And those Islamic countries, they do that. They have 100 wives and all that. No, it's not supposed to have that. Four, that's it. It tells you can have four, but if one is good enough for you, then that's good enough. But you can have four. But you have to take care of each of them, meaning they do not work, they do not live together. You have to finance everything. So see how quick your orgy will go out of your mind? And you will have to probably, if you definitely marry a female in one of those African countries, you have to give the family a gift. You got to bring some cattle, some cow. You got to let them know that you're able to support this family. You know, in America, it's not like that. It's easy. You just have sex in the back seat of the Jeep and then have sex at the hotel a few times, say you in love, you say you want to get married, and boom, there you go. You ain't got nothing going for you. She ain't got nothing going on for her, and you just in love. Not saying it's something really wrong 100%, because sometimes you can't control love. But to jump into love without being prepared, it's like jumping out of a plane with no parachute. Because when you start having sex, especially unprotected sex, that equals family. And you don't want to get hit with a baby and you ain't got your stuff together. You know what I'm saying? Nobody taught us this though. Because when we was in slavery, we just had sex. I mean, we jumped over the broom. Oh, better yet, and I would say no. In slavery, they didn't teach us this. We kind of like it just kind of grew on us naturally, because back then back then we all we had. So we kind of loved each other a little bit harder than today. Today, man, they made marriage into a fashion show. Vivica Fox, all of them, you getting married 4 or 5 times. Shit is like a fashion show. But once you want to stick with somebody wholeheartedly, I'm telling you, you're gonna have a goddamn headache. Yeah, because it's two personalities. So you got to make it work for you. That's what's up, man. Not a lot of men give their queens a shout out. I was raised, if your woman's doing her job and her king and situation, you speak highly of her. Yeah, my wife do her thing, man. Don't get me wrong, she drive me crazy, but that's part of a relationship. Everything is not perfect. She gonna see stuff her way, you're gonna see stuff your way. And I learned this not a long time. I kind of recently kind of got into this, learning this, that communication is the key. I mean, I always heard it, but it really, really, really didn't. This is how it really dawned on me. Me and my wife was going through something. And it was about a week, right? It was about a week. And the communication was off because we wasn't listening to each other, and we pretty much was like talking at each other. And to really put yourself in another person's shoes and really listen, then you get to understand more, and you get to make a see, in marriage everything is a sacrifice. You may be one way, because I used to say this, yo, this is how I am. Well, when you marry, you can't always be how you are. You got to make a sacrifice and change, especially if you want your spouse to start acting a certain way. So you have to change. That's what make marriage work. That makes a family strong. So when your kids see it and they grow up, they already know how to deal with the people they dealing with, because they see how y'all dealing with it. But if you dealing with it like hell up in Harlem, then you're already training your children how to deal with the people they're gonna be dealing with. You know what I'm saying? Well, I don't want to get into that. I don't know my wife in there listening, like, he better shout me out. Yeah, that's the lethal truth. Yeah, that's the lethal truth, man. You know what I'm saying? I am not married, but in a relationship for a year, and we are making sure communicating is the number one thing we do in our relationship. Yeah, communication is the key. Is the key. You know what I'm saying? What else I could talk about communication? Because, like, you know, when I had my communication with my wife after we went through what we went through, I felt so much better because my problem was I'm not a crybaby. Excuse me, I'm not a crybaby. Like every time something is wrong, I just don't say, "Yo, I want to talk about it." I don't do that. So my problem was I let things pile up, right? And one day I would get mad, and when I get mad, everything that piled up is kind of going to my mind and it's building. What and the problem is now when somebody's doing something close to you, because they say when you're upset, you lash out to the closest one next to you. What happens is now everything around you, you disrupt, even if it's some petty shit. Who the fuck left the goddamn fork on the sink? No one ain't supposed to be in the goddamn sink. Little petty shit like that. Now everybody like, yo, they don't want to be around you because you ain't communicating and letting everybody know what's your problem or what is the problem. But once you do that, man, be a weight lifted off you. Even if you got an issue with your lady or your man, and you had that conversation, watch how a big weight be lifted off you. Next, you know, y'all gonna start joking and laughing. Now y'all start holding each other. Oh, yo, I ain't going nowhere. You know, I was bullshit. You know what I'm saying? But that makes a family work. You know what I'm saying? So during slavery, they didn't want none of that. They didn't want that type of communication. So your ass got kidnapped. You was too strong. You know what I'm saying? Y'all family unit was too strong. Oh, you gotta sell one of y'all, especially if you too rebellious. So it broke up the family structure. We had got it back during the civil rights movement, but after the dope and the crack era hit, that was it again. Because that's what survived the civil rights movement was, black families, unity. So they had to break that up. So once heroin got into the play in the 70s, and then revolutionary stance still took over into hip hop with Public Enemy in the 80s, here come the crack, then here come the gang banging. Here we are today. Messed up. But we getting it back, y'all. We getting it back. Don't feel sad because things is looking great. I wish I could tell you the accomplishments we had from slavery. Look, from slavery to now. Look what we got. They didn't gotta go. They don't care about what he doing. They doing the same thing. They've been doing that for centuries. But he had to go. Talking all that political stuff and you trying to get an organization and all that with Jay-Z and all these black figures and Tyler Perry, he building the studio over here. And I just Cat Williams got that these niggas getting too powerful. So, like I said, at the end of the day, we see where Fat Joe and Lord Jabar's situation went based on race. So everything I done said today was based on race. So you see why Fat Joe and Lord Jamal situation spiraled out of control. Because this is what this country's built off. And it's going to continue to be built off like that. Police going to continue to kill us in the street because police was created in slavery for slaves. That's the root of it. You got plants at home, pull the root out and bury it in another plant and watch what happens. That same foundation will grow somewhere else. You got to kill the root. No, we're gonna just change the policy. No, you got to kill the root of that shit for things to change. And the only way things will change is when we come into power and when this country fall. And I'm not saying power to be oppressive because that's not our nature. Because even though we're being treated the way we still treat white people good. We still treat them fairly. And we got white friends. I know I do. And they listen to me. They be like, damn, man, I ain't know all that shit. I'm like, yeah. They be like, I ain't gonna lie. If I was black, I'd be mad as a motherfucker. And they my friends. They cool as hell, man. Especially my family, my two cousins. So with that being said, I'm gonna give it another 5 more minutes. I feel good talking about this. I feel good. I'm having a good day. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve. I gotta go rest shopping. You know, it's kind of hard stashing presents when you got a house full of people. How the hell you gonna wrap it in peace? You know what I'm saying? So I'm caught. I'm caught. They wrapping theirs. But I'm doing the rest of my shopping tomorrow. So tomorrow's Christmas Eve. You know, real quick, real quick before I end, because I know I ain't gonna talk until Saturday. And Christmas is coming. In the book of Jeremiah, they talk about Christmas. I had posted it up there on my short stories where Geno Jennings, a pastor, separation will lead to heartbreaking. Yep, it absolutely would. Geno Jennings, he's a pastor, and he was talking about Christmas, which I've been knew about. It doesn't exist really. It has nothing to do. Well, it exists, but it has nothing to do with Jesus, because, of course, in the Bible, Jesus was born in secrecy because the Roman government put out a decree to kill all the first male babies in Jerusalem. So, if Jesus was born in secret, where the hell they get December 25th from? And in Bethlehem at that time, in this time in December, it's so goddamn cold. Ain't no sheeps outside. You cannot give a baby out. I mean, give birth to a baby outside. You will freeze to death. So he wasn't born there. Well, December 25th comes from a birth of a guy named Nimrod. And Nimrod was a type of black warrior that Europeans loved. He was like a big ass hitman, but he had an army. And he went to war with trying to think of the person's name. I'm sorry. I don't like doing this and forgetting. Normally I have my notes, but right now I'm kind of freestyling. So I forgot that person's name, but he used to go around when he killed his enemies. He will okay, give me a minute. He will kill his enemies and decapitate them and pull their intestines out and decorate the tree with it. And he would take their testicles and hang them around the tree and put their head on top of the tree as a star. He was born December 25th, and he also was having sex with his mother. His name was Nimrod. In the book of Jeremiah, they talk about the tree and say, don't follow the ways of the heathen by cutting down the tree and decorating it with silver and gold. This is the Bible. The Bible. The Bible. So I try to understand why a lot of people in the Christian domination always celebrate Jesus' birthday at church on December 25th. Remember, we were talking about the right and the wrong and the wrong and the right. See, why I told you Satan is in the church, Satan is in the mosques, Satan is in the synagogue, because that's the place that will resurrect you spiritually. He has to be in there. He has to. He has to make sure you get the little life that you get in church and you feel good, or in the mosque and you pray, you feel good. And when you walk right back out of there, you walk out of there acting like a devil. You know what I'm saying? You don't need notes. You just take your time. We're here to learn. So you say it's all right. But you're so right. Let me see what the brother said. I gotta scroll up. Uh let me see. That's what's up. Shout out to the men. Give wise. I'm trying to see. Uh but that's what December 25th is about. It's about Nimrod. It's not about Jesus. Oh man, brother. I'm trying to scroll up, but I can't find it. Oh, though my assistant is here. Although my assistant is trying to find it. I'm trying to find it on here as well. But yeah, but that's what Christmas is about. Santa Claus dealt with a guy named Saint Claus, Saint Claus something. He was a He was a archbishop in Rome. All these saints that you hear, Saint Michael, Saint Peter, they're archbishops in Rome because Rome they took on the Catholic religion and incorporated their pagan religion into it. So you hear like when you watch those European movies and you hear the gods and we worship the gods. See, the gods are many gods. You got all these saints, and you got Jesus, then you got God, then you got Saint Michael's and all these people. Then they give you some paper with Saint Anne and they tell you to pray to Saint Anne. That's pagan shit. That's what all the European holiday, Easter, bunnies, rabbits do not lay eggs. They go to technology. Remember I tell you that? They don't got nothing to do with that. Easter, actually, all right, Easter really was um all right. Easter is April. It's what's it? April Fool? No, Easter. When is Easter again? I know it's April, but I can't remember the date because I don't follow it.
But it's always switching.
Yeah, they always switching like King birthday. They always switching. But Easter has nothing to do with the bunny. It actually has to do with spring in Europe because spring is a fertilized season. So back then in Rome, when spring, it was the first day of spring, if females wanted to fornicate and give birth to babies and get married, they would wear sunflower dresses to let Roman soldiers or Roman men knew that they was ripe for the picking. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's it. It's a whole lot, man. It might ban my it might ban my page. Okay, let me see what Monica say. The things we supposed to do right instead of wrong. The shit we do. Okay, I read that. Just what? Oh, the society's the trend. Oh no, 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 no. I said, with no communication, there's no trust. No trust will lead to cheating. Cheating will lead to separation. Separation will lead to heartbreak. You're absolutely right. You absolutely right. I heard this saying before. All relationships are meant to be. It's just up to the people to make it work. Because it's all about sacrifice in a relationship as well. Can't be the same way. Some people got to change for the better, and everybody got a trigger. Especially if you black and you live in this country, you've been psychologically messed up. You have a trigger. So when we all get together, we all have this trigger. And somehow, some way, sometimes it's kind of bad when you are dominant. Like me and my wife, she's a dominant and I'm dominant. Don't get me wrong, my wife is submissive to me, but at times her nature of herself, she becomes dominant. You know what I'm saying? And she's who she is, and I'm who I am. So when I want things my way, I want it my way. She wanted her way, and when we talk, we end up talking at each other. But eventually, we calm down and we get to actually communicate and get over it because realize that we meant to be. You know what I'm saying? So you got just got to make it work. Hey, who wants to start over? And you got to start, and then you got to pretend, and then you got to worry of this person lying, that person lying, and now you got another baby mama drama or another man that don't want to take care of his child. Look, make that shit work. Whoever you with right now, make it work. Talk. If the person ain't gonna want to make it work, then I ain't gonna tell you what to do. You know what's best for you. Uh, yeah, yeah, so damn sure. Heartbroken will lead to hatred to the one you love. Nah, I won't say that. I won't say that. I kind of this is my opinion. I disagree. Let me tell you why I say that. If you really love someone, like you say, you love someone, and love is really strong. I'm not talking about the love and you just be like, yo, I love you. I'm talking about the love where you always doing something together. The love when you finally do something yourself, you thinking of that person or you texting that person. You just left them at home, but here you are having a conversation with them in Texas while you texting while you're supposed to be having fun outing. You're upset with that person, and when you're upset, you feel lonely. You want to reach out to that person, but your pride gets the best of you. You don't. You want to make it work, but you don't know how. That's all love. So when you separate or you heartbroken, you in pain. You ain't gonna be hatred. You hate a person when you don't love them. You can't stand their ass. That's why when people say, I mean, people always going back to their exes because they always love some sort of part of them, and they get it connects them. Even if it's just the sex, they may just love the sex and not them. But hatred, Ku Klux Klan, that's hatred. So if I hate a female, that means I never loved you. And I don't want nothing to do with you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to make, I don't want to patch it up. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about the no communication, the no cheating, the trust, the heartbroken, the separation, and even times when it leads to hate. But yeah, no. In that case, yeah, that can happen. No, because I'm gonna say why that can happen to a point. Because if you're not talking no more and is there communication, the energy is gonna be foul. Meaning it's not gonna be no energy there. You know how like you may be upset with your boyfriend or your girlfriend, y'all not talking, but y'all have that same energy where you could feel the love, but y'all not talking. Yeah, I'm talking about this type where now you leaning into somebody else and you communicate with that person, you growing with that person. And now when you do that, sin enters the picture. And when sin enters the picture, you start saying shit that you're not supposed to be saying. You start doing things you're not supposed to be doing. And yeah, it could lead to hate after that because you start lashing out at each other out of bitterness, and the bitterness become turns into when you get mad at each other, and from there it could turn into hatred. You know what I'm saying? Like my baby mother, she hates me. I don't. Yeah, I don't even see my children. Two of them. Yeah, she hates me to that point. That's hate. Like, oh, hey, I try to reach out, try to fight, but that's hate. Not to get too much into my business. But no, I'm gonna be sharing my business Saturday. Y'all tune in. And Monica, have your son there. 6 o'clock Saturday. Be there. I'll be there. I got some real stuff to say. It's gonna be real good. So, with that being said, I'm gonna say y'all have a good night and God bless. And at the end of this, and my conclusion is people that is the people of color are your brother and your sister through genetic makeup. I'm going to say it again. The people of color in this world are your brother and sister if you are a person of color. But they are only your brother and sister through genetic makeup. It takes actions to make a person your brother and your sister. You know what I'm saying? So when you see stuff like Fat Joe and stuff going on, just don't let people fool you into thinking there's some racism stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yes, good topics tonight. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. It is real at the last minute, really at the last minute, because this Fat Joe thing just took me for a loop. So with that being said, y'all have a good night. God bless you. Stay safe and happy holidays. I'll see y'all Saturday. Later.